Okay, I am going to show you how to make this bell card. And for this card, I actually used the saying from the Itty Bitty Christmas set. This set, I love this one. It has just about any Christmas saying you could want in it. I also used the Sounds of the Season die cut set. And this is where I got the pieces for the bells. And there's even another tiny bell. And the little pieces of pine bough. And these little things are for the cross hairs on the bells if you want them to stick up. I chose not to use those just because it's a little more intricate than needed. Because if you can see, this already puts some texture across that middle piece. So I figured that was good enough. And then this Cherish the Season set is what goes with that. Those dies would actually cut these pieces out. Okay, so in your kit, you're going to have what you need to complete 3 cards. So you're going to take one set, pull it in here. If you ordered the pre-printed sayings, I've cut them out for you on a little fancy, I used the stitch rectangle dies for this, and it's cut out like this. So where I have this stamped, you would just adhere that. So if you've got the pre-printed ones, that's how you'll attach that. You can pop it up if you want to with the dimensionals, or you can just glue it down flat. It's your choice. Okay, so I'm going to bend my base of my cardstock in half. And the easiest thing is just to line up those edges and then go ahead. And if you have your bone folder, you can do that to get a crisp fold. I started before we had bone folders, and so I have a hard time remembering to use mine. I'm so used to just using my thumbnail. So we're gonna just adhere one of these vanilla pieces to the inside. And that's so you can write without a special pen, because you wouldn't be able to see it very well on this dark cardstock. And then you're not going to adhere this down yet. I'm going to set my card base aside so I don't forget and adhere it before I'm ready. I am going to stamp my saying because, as you know, if you mess up, you can always turn the cardstock over, use the other side. So if I didn't like the way that looked, I could turn it over and use this side. Okay, so I'm going to put my black ink pad aside and my saying. And then to do the rest of this, the next thing to put on would be your designer series paper. So I'm going to attach that along the edge. And I think I left about a 1/4 inch space from the edge. And now it's time to do my bells. To start out with, I'm going to turn the bell over and put a little bit of adhesive right toward the top. And using the smallest one, because I want this one to be the highest one up, I'm going to put the end of my cardstock through that hole and then just touch it to the adhesive that's already there. And then put a little bit more adhesive to these and place this where I want it. I went just about in the center of the card with this one. Don't want to go too far down because you're going to end up putting this one kind of midway on that bell and then this one down below. So just make sure you've left enough room for your saying. And if you get it too close to the top, you'll interfere with your bow and your pine boughs. So just be careful on the placement. I'm going to do the same thing with this copper colored one. I'm going to put some adhesive up here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive down below too, because this is going to lie flat as well. So I'm going to put this through that hole again and just touch it to that adhesive. Don't have it go down too far or it'll show through this little holly cutout. If you're having trouble with that, you can snip off anything that you can see. And then I'm going to put this about midway down, like that. And then my last one, I am going to use my longest thread that's in there and do the same thing. Actually, with this one, I'm not going to use this adhesive. I want to pop this up just a little bit. So I'm going to put my end through that hole, and mine's unraveling a little, so I'm just going to twist it again. Put it through this hole. If you're having trouble with that, just bend it over so you have a clean piece to put through. Okay, bring it to the back side. And then this time, rather than using the adhesive, I am going to use one of these Stampin' Dimensionals that we used before to pop things up. So I have a sticky side, and I'll put that over the top to hold that little piece in place. And that's all I need to adhere that bell down. So I'm going to take the backing off, adhere the bell where I need it. And then, because I haven't put this down yet, I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to put a string of adhesive across the back toward the top. And then I'm going to bring each string straight up. Don't pull too hard because you might pull it out from under, but I'm just going to then attach this around the corner so that it sticks to the adhesive. And I'm going to do that for each bell. It's a little easier to get them in place after you've got them all down. So, so now I've got them adhered to the back, and I can put some more adhesive on here. You might want to put a strip kind of going over some of that. And now I'm ready to put my card front on. I have a little piece that wants to stick out. I'm just going to snip it off. So now I can put this on the front of my card like this. And then I'm going to put these pine boughs in place. Again, if you have a liquid glue, this might be a good opportunity to use it. I'm going to get mine to open up. I picked one that was a little clogged. Okay, so I'm going to just touch some adhesive like this. If you don't, you can still use the adhesive that you have. You're going to cover these with a bow, so it probably won't show up a lot. I'm going to place that there. Do the same thing with my small one, and I'm just putting a little bit of liquid glue right in the middle where the two intersect, the two sides. And I'm going to put that like there. And then last, I'm going to put on my bow. So here I'm going to take the glue dots again and push it down against the dot, put the bow in place, and then you can just pull the ends down. And if you need to cut off a little bit, you can just snip them once it's on there. So there is our finished card. If you have the saying again, it would look more like this. I don't know if you can see that. Let me make sure. So it would look more like this, where that's sticking up or else just glued flat down. And that's the end of that one.